Woo. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for the Bridge to Brattleboro Employer Panel. We kind of are envisioning this as the first of a three-part series designed to connect people with career opportunities in the Brattleboro region. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Casey Haynes. I'm the talent specialist at Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. I help with internships, recruiting, retention, all across the region. So here working with the wonderful staff at Franklin Pierce University to get this whole thing together. So Anne, would you like to just introduce yourself real quick?
Absolutely. So my name is Anne Goodrich-Bazan, and I have been at Franklin Pierce for a number of years, now working in the Career Center. We're very excited to partner with employers in Brattleboro and to see where those right fits are between our students, both for internships and for longer term employment.
Wonderful. So I want to start off with just such a huge thank you to the employers here, not just for volunteering their time today, but for ongoing participation in the Diverse Workforce Development Committee. All the employers here meet regularly and have a demonstrated commitment to fostering a diverse and inclusive atmosphere where meaningful work gets done every day. So kudos to you all for just being wonderful employers of choice in the region. With that, I am going to just jump right into our panelist questions. So let's go ahead. We're going to do a little round robin of introductions for our employers so that everyone on the call gets to kind of see you, know who you are. So my first question here is to introduce your organization, what it does, the kinds of roles that exist, whether you're hiring for them or not, although my guess is that most folks are hiring here for quite a number of positions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just start picking on people. I've got Sally Cruz here.
Everybody, I'm Sally Cruz Nix. I'm the HR director for the town of Brattleboro. We are currently hiring. We do have a variety of different positions available. We're recruiting for our police department. Our chief, Norma Hardy, is joining us as well today. We actually just had we had an oral board for our fire department. But as that's revolving as needed too. I'm actually going to be posting for a library clerk soon. We just had some postings that just closed for the library as well. And we do a lot of seasonal employment too, but as our departments, go through their retirements that are coming up and changes that are coming up, we constantly post our jobs on our career site that are available for the town. But that's the town of Brattleboro in about 2 minutes.
Wonderful, thank you. Going around my screen here, we've got Stacy Mousseau.
Hey everybody, I am Stacy Mousseau. I am the HR director for the Windham Southeast Supervisory Union, the Windham Southeast School District, and the Vernon School District. As it seems, we are a school district. We have a early Head Start program, 7 elementary schools, a middle school, a high school, and a career center within our high school that we oversee. We have about 700 employees. We oversee about our enrollment is around 2,600 kids within all of our school districts. We also are in Brattleboro, and then we also oversee the surrounding towns of Dummerston, Guilford, Vernon, and Putney also. So we are hiring right now. We have quite a few para-educator positions that are opened. I don't believe we currently have any teachers, but that's a possibility that will change at any time. And then in the springtime is when we do a lot of majority of our hiring, because we have people who decide to move on from the district or they decide to retire from the district. So that definitely opens up a lot of possibilities for us. So that's who we are.
Wonderful, thank you. Len Howard.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Len Howard. I'm the fire chief here in Brattleboro. We run fire and EMS. We have a career staff of 25 people. We have 2 shifts of 7, and we work out of 2 different fire stations. We run on approximately 2,700 calls a year, which averages 7 calls a day. We are very focused in integrity and respectful and excellence is our big motto. And I'm happy to say we just hired 3 folks, and we just hired our 2nd female, and we just hired 2 people of color. So we're pretty excited. We're becoming a very diverse workforce, and I certainly see us hire again soon in the future, and would be happy to have any of you come and visit or ask questions or whatever. So thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Len. Norma Hardy. I'm muted. Norma, I think you might also be muted.
Yeah. Yes, took me a moment. Hello, everyone. My name is Norma Hardy. I'm the Chief of Police for Brattleboro Police Department. We are also hiring. We're actively recruiting, and we're looking to, add some new members to the department. We believe in community service. Our motto will be community service. And, of course, anyone that's interested or think they may be interested in a career with the police department here, feel free to contact us. You can go on a ride along with my officers, and you can see if it's something you would be further interested in. I think I love ride alongs. I think that they really give a full view of what we actually have to do in our day-to-day operations. We also have dispatchers. We're hiring for dispatchers at this time also. So you can come in and see how the operation works for people that do take our calls. It's a high-powered, high-energy job also. So I'm just open to anyone that has an interest in coming to see what we can offer them.
Wonderful. Thank you. We've got Maggie Brooks.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Maggie Brooks. I'm the HR manager at Brattleboro Memorial Hospital. We currently have about 700 employees. We are definitely hiring. These are unprecedented times for our hiring teams. We have a range of positions that are currently open, from environmental service aides, nutrition services, all the way up through, clinicians, RNs, medical assistants, LPNs, LNAs, pretty much anything, help desk even. So pretty much anything you can think of, we'd probably be able to find a space for you here. We have 3 shifts. So it's obviously a hospital 24-hour facility. We don't ever close. We have a really strong focus on diversity and inclusion here, and we are driving that culture forward and all hands on deck. So really excited about all the new initiatives that we are participating in the community and in the organization. And we're absolutely would be thrilled to talk with any of you about any of the openings. And we have a career site you can view at brattleboro-memorialhospital.com. And it kind of outlines all of the positions we have open, and we are happy to walk you around the facility, do tours, talk more. So anything you need, you can reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I want to turn it over to Assistant Chief Kier if he has any other things to add about the fire department.
No, thank you. I just echo what the chief mentioned. One of the things that I'm not sure if you mentioned or not, we do have a call force as well. It's kind of a part-time staff where people can kind of get an introduction into the fire service and get some certifications and kind of aid in different parts of the fire service that are out there. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for introducing yourselves. For the students on the call, as we kind of dive into these questions, into the meat of these questions, think about any questions that you yourself have. This is just like a great opportunity to bounce things off of our employers in a way that is very like a very low stakes environment. So just keep that in mind as we run through all of this. So my first question, and we're going to kind of keep that same order, assuming I remember, is what are the kinds of experiences and personality traits that would make someone successful in your field or organization? So I will turn it right over to Sally.
So the town employees work with the public a lot. So you would need to definitely have a lot of those soft skill traits as well as, trained technical skills. But we're definitely looking for people with a good work ethic, good communication skills. We're gonna make, problem solving, working as a team. Some departments are small, some departments are larger. So just really the soft skill aspect of it, thinking of treating people respectfully with dignity and kindness. A lot of people come to our library. We're a public entity, so people are coming through our doors all the time. We're open for people. A lot of times we might say we're 411, they come in for other information too. So just remembering to be kind and respectful. So those are some of the skills that would be useful.
Great, thank you. Stacy.
Thanks. I'll echo what Sally said, because those are quite a few skills that we look at for our staff. But of course, because we are a school district, we want people that enjoy working with kids, enjoy teaching kids, enjoy just like the day-to-day of how to help kids grow, whether it's emotionally, mentally, academically, all of those things. So patience is definitely one thing that you need to have working in the school district. Multitasking is really important too, because there's so many different things going on at one time. Yeah, I think those are just some of the major traits that we're looking at for ours, for anybody coming on to our staff.
Great, thank you, Stacy. I'm sure that as we go on, you all are going to continue to hear some common threads, so keep that in mind too. Len, go ahead.
I would echo what Sally said. It's important that when we're being called to somebody that's having the worst day in their life, and we need to have people that are passionate about what they're doing and how we can help people make their day better. And like I said, our acronym is FIRE, and it's focus, integrity, respect, and excellence. And that's what we look for when we're looking to fill positions here. So I will ask AC Kier if he has something else to add.
The fire service is ever changing, and it's always evolving. It's a high energy, high stakes. We look for those people that are going to be motivated to help people, motivated to go out and learn different tasks, different skills, not settle for the just stagnant. We like that high energy stuff. So that's what we're looking for.
Wonderful. All right, Norma.
Yes, as I stated, I'm looking for people that are motivated, that want to explore a possibility to be in law enforcement. You have to be able to deal with people on a respectful level. You have to be able to think on your feet, so to speak, in de-escalation. And as Lenny stated, as with police also, you're dealing with people sometimes that are at their lowest point, and their lowest point of feeling and having a bad day, or maybe even a bad month. So you have to have a skill of being able to show empathy, and you have to be able to speak to people where they actually want your help, as far and as well as knowing that you may face negative feelings towards you for being the police, negative attitudes, that everyone you won't always be everyone's favorite person. But I do tell anyone who wants to come into the profession that, if you come in with that mindset, that you will be respectful, you will be professional always, and treat people with dignity. I think it's a great profession, and I welcome anyone to try it.
Awesome. All right, Maggie.
I feel like it's going to be kind of a reoccurring statement with the themes here, but yes, so we are looking for people. We have such a wide range of positions and different specialties, and the services that we offer range so widely that I like to say, if you want to work here, we can find a place that fits. That's really what I like to say. So if you want to be in the clinical field, there's a whole different set of skills and personality traits that go with that versus maybe somebody wants to be in nutrition services, so, but we always, I guess a common theme is look for people that, have compassion in that respect. Like Chief Howard and Norma had said, we see people a lot of times on their worst days. So always having that in mind when you're in any position walking in the hallway, we just always want to keep that in mind and view people through that lens and be that respectful presence. So, but yeah, like I said, really any position at this hospital is so different. Every physician is different. So versus clinical, nutrition, environmental services, help desk, we have so many wide range of positions that we can find a place for you if you want to work at BMH.
Fantastic. All right, so I will circle back around to my list of questions here. So how does a 4-year degree make you more competitive or make an applicant more competitive as you're reviewing candidates? Sally.
So for the town of Brattleboro, we have a lot of, we have public works, where we have an engineer, and, we're looking for, we just closed a job for a utilities highway superintendent. We also, our job descriptions, so they're minimal positions that require a 4-year degree. If you have it, of course, you're welcome to apply as well and work for the town. But in some positions, we'll actually offer incentives if you have a degree for a position that may not require a degree. So your pay, will include an incentive based on which associate's, bachelor's degree or higher. But not all of our positions require them. Some, again, like I mentioned earlier, some are very specific. But again, I think like Maggie mentioned, that we can find a place for you if you apply for one of our jobs with a degree.
Great, thank you. Stacy.
So for us, our teaching positions do require a 4-year degree because you also need to be licensed through the state of Vermont. And then also even above 4-year degree, a lot of our teachers get their master's degrees too. For our para positions, we recommend an associate's degree, but it's not a requirement. It's something that if you don't have an associate's degree, you can still apply for our paraeducator positions. And then we have some of our other positions, our custodial, our maintenance positions, some of our office staff positions. We don't require degrees for those positions. But mainly so a lot of our positions are also union positions. So those go along with education too, is how you're placed on the salary scales and stuff like that goes along with your level of degrees too. So that's how we kind of filter our positions and stuff and the requirements for those.
Awesome. Yeah. More money is always a nice perk of having that degree, for sure. So I'll turn it over to Len.
We don't require a 4-year degree to get hired as a firefighter, but it's certainly something that you will need as you want to develop your career development as you move up the rank structure and in the fire department. It's certainly a huge benefit and advantage to having a degree, a 2-year degree or 4-year degree to make it up to where we are now, to the top of to my position or Daisy Keir's position or the captain's position. So it's certainly a feather in your cap, and certainly encourage it.
Great. I'll turn it over to Maggie.
So we have a lot of positions, like Sally mentioned, that do not require any sort of degree or certification. And then we have a lot of positions that do, right? We employ clinicians and dentists. And so it's a really wide range of certifications and degrees that are required for different positions. But we employ high school students in some of our positions. We really do it all. So but I will say, like in a nursing profession, having a 4-year degree, like Sally mentioned, does offer a higher rate of pay. And then the more certifications or degrees that you get, the higher your pay goes. And we are also union. So again, that is based on those set negotiated union rates for the degrees of your education. So that's kind of how that works.
Wonderful, thank you. So circling back around, our next question here for everyone is just to discuss workplace culture, what a weekly schedule might look like for someone in your field of organization. I think that everyone here is familiar with the concept of the 9 to 5, but I know a lot of organizations have very different schedules. And so just giving everyone a sense for the kinds of things, the kinds of schedules they might expect to work. And I'll turn it over to Sally.
So we have a few departments that are 8:30 to 5. Most of our offices are, but like our fire department and our police department and even our dispatch, they're 24/7. So, and the dispatch is 12 hours, police, I believe, are 10, firefighters are 24 with their schedule with 1 day, 2 off with the rotation. And then again, like I said, our offices are open, but our workplace culture is, we here in the town of Brattleboro, we started a DEI committee over a year ago, and we are working to change the systemic culture that others, we're going through that process together. There's a lot of communication that occurs within the town. There's a lot of team meetings that are held. We just try to keep that communication among staff and leadership open and continue to work together as a town team versus a silo of a department.
Great, thank you. Stacy, go ahead.
So ours, I guess, schedules really vary depending on, so teachers, paraprofessionals work school year. So they're usually around 185 to 190 day schedule, whereas our central office is, or our custodians are calendar year. So we are here all time, all during the summer and stuff. We have some, majority of the day is school hours is what our teachers and our paraprofessionals do. However, custodians, we have day shift custodians, night shift custodians. Our central office is more so an 8 to 4, 9 to 5 type thing that we have and stuff. So definitely different positions offer different schedules. And with our culture, it's definitely, I've been as the HR director for the past year for the school district, and the schools have been working tremendously they all have diversity and equity committees individually, but then they also work under the umbrella of the Windham Southeast Supervisory Union too. So they've been doing a tremendous work, working with our students, working with our parents, just to kind of get everybody together and work together and let everybody voice their opinions and have a voice. So it's been really good. The schools are really, they're great. They do such fantastic things for all of our students. And they're a necessity. You need to have schools, so they really do a great job. So I'm really happy to be a part of them. So thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, Stacy. Len.
So I guess I'll speak on this one. As Sally said, we're big into diversity, equity, inclusion, and into the fire service. We work a 24-hour shift. Somebody will come to work at 8 o'clock and leave at 8 o'clock the following day. A day can consist of about 8 to 10 calls per day. But we do a lot of other things. A lot of people think that, well, you join the fire service, you go and you run on emergencies, you go to fires and you do medical calls. And that is a big part of what we do. But the day starts off usually by a roll call of sorts. They do an apparatus check. Usually at some point during mid-morning, physical fitness and mental health is a huge part of the fire service, and mindfulness. So they'll do an hour of physical or mental health. Then we have a lunch, and then the firefighters will train for an hour to 2 hours every day on some sort of skill, whether that's fire service related, medical field related, technical rescue related, swift water, vehicle extrication, whatever the case may be. And then we also do a lot of fire prevention details where we'll go out and we work with the public, teaching them how to use a fire extinguisher, or going into rental homes and inspecting to make sure there's smoke detectors where smoke detectors belong and all of these great things. Usually they'll have dinner around 6 o'clock and then finish out reports and projects and different maintenance things that are throughout the day, and then usually a handful of calls in the evening. The great part about that 24 on schedule, 48 hours off, is that you know the days that you work from here until next year, until you're moved on to a different shift. So it's a really great environment for somebody that is willing to think outside that normal 40-hour work week and a different schedule. So.
Great, that's super helpful and informative. Thank you. And I'll turn it over to Maggie.
So we have, like I kind of mentioned already, our culture is a huge part of our everyday discussions at the organization level and at the town level. We recently hired a diversity and equity inclusion director, so she's on site doing that work every single day. We have LGBTQ plus leadership council along with strategy circles for the council on racial equity. We do a lot of that work, and it's on the forefront of everybody's minds, and it's really important to us here at BMH. We adopted a just culture, which simply put is just we treat everyone fairly and respectfully and go into it without expectation. Every conversation that may occur between a manager and an employee, or HR and an employee, or a manager, just to hear everybody out and be just and fair. So the work week for BMH, I mean, again, it's such a wide variety, clinical staff, someone that's an ED nurse who works third shift, obviously their week looks a lot different than my week, right? So I work, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and someone over there could work, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, depending on how many hours you agreed to work in your contract or your budgeted hours through us. So wide variety. Like I said, anything you're wanting to do, we can make work. So if you want to work on days, you want to work on nights, you want to work swing shift, you want to be afloat, there's so many different options. We have various employees, not only just full-time employees, we have part-times, we have per diems, we have temp positions. So we have pretty much everything going on here. So yeah, wide variety of shifts at BMH.
Great, thank you, Maggie. I'm going to turn it over to Norma.
Yes, we're 24/7 operation. Of course, we're working on our recruitment efforts to have more diversity and inclusion. I will tell anybody, we're at 10-hour shifts now, but sometimes those may be more, depending on what kind of cases you're handling. My officers handle cases that they respond to, but they also do follow-up on their cases, as well as community outreach. We're trying to become more involved in the community events, as well as myself going out into the community and introducing myself and telling them about Brattleboro PD. And so, the community outreach is a big one. We also offer assistance. It's not just arresting people or stopping speeders or making tickets for people. It's also offering assistance, offering services. We work closely with the hospital. We work closely with the school system. So you can be out into your community and serving it, as a police officer. And you really it's really a lot of energy. You gotta, it's sometimes a lot of hard hours and hard work. But I still find it very fulfilling, and I've been doing it for close to 40 years. So.
Wonderful. Awesome. So we will circle around to our last question here. So what positions are you currently hiring or hosting internships for? And also, what positions do you anticipate hiring for in the next 1 to 2 years. Really thinking, I think, we covered a little bit of the, everyone's hiring for a lot of things right now, but just in terms of helping our students think through that kind of on the horizon timeline. Maybe someone's not graduating for another 2 years. What are some things they can think about to help prepare them once they graduate? So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Sally first.
Right, so the town of Brattleboro right now, again, like Chief Hardy had mentioned, we are hiring for police officers. It's a revolving recruitment. I'll let her speak about how that hiring process works for the state, but it's not a apply in you're hired kind of position. And then we're also, like I mentioned, we look for seasonal employment. Right now, the skating rink is open, so Carol's looking for some evening program supervisors, and a lot of our employees, actually, believe it or not, I've only been with the town going on 3 years, but when you look at the history of the town, a lot of our employees have started as seasonal employees and have grown with the town and developed into full-time positions and careers. I know we just hired someone for the highway department that was a seasonal employee for us, and now he's a full-time employee. So those are the positions available and again, we do have part-time dispatch positions available. We're looking for 2 part-time dispatchers that are 24-hour positions. And we're hoping that those positions can fill in when our full-time dispatchers are on vacations, or, if there's an emergency that may arise. And as far as anticipating positions for the town, I believe someone else on the panel had mentioned how it's just become a new world for recruitment out there. But I know we're still looking for a finance director. We're in our final rounds of searching for another finance director, but retirements and just resignations as people find their dream jobs, or hopefully we are their dream job, but as they continue to move on in their career path, we have our career site just is constantly updated. Like I mentioned, I'm posting for a library clerk. I can't anticipate off the top of my head, maybe the other town employees can help me remember some that maybe they anticipate coming up. But, like I think of when I look at the fire chief, I think of like when a captain goes to retire, a fire captain, if they're not going to promote on to the assistant chief or chief, then the succession begins, where now we're hiring lieutenant, everybody's moving up the ranks and we're looking for new firefighters to come on board. So, that can be more of a process there. And if for internships, I know our library has been doing interns lately. Our planning department has been doing some internships. I believe that this is their 2nd summer that they've had interns. But again, if someone was interested in an internship with the Rec and Park department, I know we could always speak to Carol a lot and see what's available there, with what opportunities are available. So those we're open to internships within our town departments as necessary. I know that in our public works department, they were actually looking for apprentices to work in the water treatment plant. We hired one, and there's an anticipation to hire another one. Again, as our water plant operators retire, we need trained for at least 2 years in the water service. So looking for an apprenticeship down the road is definitely another possibility. But again, it's all thinking about the succession of our teams.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we'll move over to Stacy.
So currently we have quite a few paraeducator positions that are open right now. And again, our openings are coming all the time, truthfully. So we post all of our positions to our website, which is wscscu.org. And also School Spring is where we post all of our positions. So in the springtime, when we're going to have pretty much an influx of a large amount of hires and stuff like that, last year I'd use Handshake to send out a lot of our postings and stuff. So I'll be using that again on this coming spring to get the word out as to what we'll have, because I foresee that we'll probably have quite a few teaching openings, paraprofessional openings, just a whole variety all across the board for openings. We do internships. I believe right now we have a few within our special education department, whether it's for working with our teachers or working with our special education, our psychologists or our counselors. There are some internships that are happening right now with them. And I know those happen every year. So those are definitely things that can be looked at too. So that's where we're at right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. I'll turn it over to the chief and assistant chief at the fire department.
So currently, we don't have any full-time positions open, just as Director Nix had mentioned. They do come around pretty quickly with retirements and people moving on. So check the website. It's updated pretty regularly whether or not we're hiring or not hiring a full-time position. I talked about the call force positions earlier. They're kind of that part-time position. It allows people to kind of figure out if the fire service is really for them or not. And then I would also kind of bring it back to, do we prefer degrees or not? And the answer is yes, we always prefer a degree, but the fire service is pretty unique in the retrospective. Maybe you have a diesel mechanic degree, or maybe you have electrical degree, or a plumber's degree, or whatever trade it is, or a service that you have gone to school for, and you realize that maybe it's not necessarily for you. The great part about the fire service is that we're an all hazards type of field, and we have so many different outlooks on, great, you have a diesel mechanic license, then you can help us fix some fire trucks. You have a background in computers. We got computers that we don't know how to use. So it's a really unique job, and don't feel like you don't have the degree for it. Come knock on our door and see what it's about. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a great point in terms of, students not pigeonholing themselves based off of, their one experience they kind of think that they have. And so I think that's a really valuable point to bring up. I'll continue with Norma.
Yes, that was a very good point. That if you don't have a degree, some people think you need a criminal justice degree or some type of law enforcement background to come work for the police department. But I've known people that have come into law enforcement that have been anything from nurses to technicians to analysts. So it is important and a good point, Chief Care, to talk about that. Also, with the police department, I just want to make it known that when you come on to being a police officer in the town of Brattleboro, Vermont, you would have to go to a 20-week police academy. The police academy is 16 weeks plus 4 weeks after that of initial training. Plus, we do our own 12 weeks of training when you come out. So it's a lot of training to be a police officer and a lot of time spent. But I also want to open the door that, as I stated, if someone is interested or think they are interested, you come talk to us, and we will gladly spend time with you, and let you know what we do. And like I said, going right along is extreme experience that, you can't just talk about it, you're gonna be able to see it. And, in a couple of years, I see hoping to be able to hire more officers. We also are looking to do data entry personnel, because the world of policing is so multifaceted and is very, very busy. So with promotions and retirements, I think we will be looking to fill spots for years to come.
Great, thank you. And then we'll turn it over to Maggie.
Yeah, so we are hiring currently for, like I said, pretty much any and everything. And I think that's going to, for the most part, continue. Like I said, we have such a wide range of positions. And we do offer, so I wanted to mention, we encourage the career advancement here at BMH. So if you come in with an associate's degree as a medical assistant and you really want to be an RN, we offer a pretty robust tuition reimbursement program. So we will help you through your schooling to get where you want to go. So HR plays a big role in those conversations, and then working with your manager and director and getting those things put into place. We also do a lot of internships and clinical rotations. We have a pretty close relationship with a lot of the local schools where we offer, like I said, clinical rotations. Like we're doing one soon for primary care. So someone hoping to be an APRN in primary care, we do them for OBGYN, we have a phlebotomy internship. There's just such a wide array of programs and opportunities that we can offer. And like I said, the career advancement and internal movement here is pretty amazing. Every week I see on my hiring report, we have more internal transfers than we do external hires, because people are taking those opportunities to move forward in their career here. And like I said, we have some pretty cool ways that we can get you where you want to be, even if you start somewhere that you don't want to stay forever. So
Great. Thank you for wrapping us up there, Maggie. I want to just reiterate that it is one of the things that I also took away from this is it's a really great time for someone who's motivated to come into probably any of these fields and not only make a big difference in their communities, but advance in where they want to go and what they want to do. So it's a really great time for that. And the other point that I want to say is that this opportunity here, being able to talk with our employers, really get that face-to-face connection, ask questions, is just a super valuable thing. This is kind of part one of what we envision this Bridge to Brattleboro program to be. We're going to hope to set up some informational interviews where you can kind of talk one-on-one with some of these folks, really get into some of the nitty-gritty details around what does career advancement look like for me? Like, can you describe more what this certification process looks like, so that you are really armed with some specific details and information that you might need to pursue this career. And then the third part would be an on-site visit. And so really kind of coming to Brattleboro, checking out these workplaces, seeing what they're about. And that is kind of the culmination of what we're working on with this Bridge to Brattleboro program. So really excited about it. Certainly, if there's anyone, any students, you have some friends who are interested, we can probably hook them up. Definitely talk with your career services people, and they'll be able to help you work into this program, and friends as well. So with that, I'm gonna kind of wrap up our sort of formal portion of this event around our questions. So I'm going to stop recording, and I'm just going to kind of open it up to, I'm going to have it be just a little bit of a round robin discussion, since I think we have a small enough group that'll work out pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here.